All right, guys, Papa Pepper here once again. Today I want to talk about self-voting because it's an issue. There's been a lot of discussion about it, and met a lot of minnows actually in person lately who are just kind of terrified almost of the idea or the thought of voting for their own post. And first of all, I'm going to say there's many different ways that people find out about Steemit, many different ways that they get involved. In the realm of Steemit, we kind of quote unquote police or don't police ourselves. There is no law, no rule, we focus better, no anything about self-voting or not. It's completely permissible. If you took a whole bunch of your fiat currency or something else and you bought a bunch of Steem and you're using Steemit as an investment and you want to make your own post and upvote yourself with all the Steem power you got, there's nothing, I guess I'll say, wrong with that. You know, it's completely permissible. It's not illegal, that type of stuff. And if somebody, just worked their tail off and they got a bunch of Steem power and all they want to do is support themselves, that's permissible too. However, there's ways that people view things. Again, you're not a community. You are not a community. So if you're involved in Steemit, you're involved in a community. Therefore, there should be some sort of give and take. There should be some sort of, hey, I'm here and I have expectations and I'd like to earn something, but I'd also like to help others along the way. And the problem that we run into, I think, is that when people become so focused on themselves that that's all they care about. And that's, again, although there's nothing illegal about that or, quote unquote wrong with that, it's completely permissible. It's not always a good idea. So here's a couple things. One is if you're working your way up from the bottom, who else is really voting on your stuff? Okay, if you support what you do and you like what you're doing, feel free to upvote your own posts. You're not throwing around probably that many cents anyway. Now, if you've got a vote that's worth $500 and you want to post once every hour and upvote yourself, 100% every time, that's a different deal. Just because there's only so much in the reward pool, there's only so much to distribute to the whole community, that type of thing, that if you're trying to just suck up as much as you possibly can, people are going to frown upon that. I would not suggest that. Is it permissible? Yes, it's permissible. But that doesn't mean it's the best idea. All I can do is offer up my own advice, my own perspective on this, but if you're some minnow, like I said, feel free to upvote your stuff. But also remember that you're part of a community. And recently I came across a post from EM3. I was doing a little research, checking out a little bit of stuff, and he did one 11 days ago about somebody in the Steem Silver Gold community who was pretty much what he called a leech. And here's the evidence there that he pulled up. He says, look, check this out. At the time, in the past 30 days, this guy here had upvoted 133 votes. 96.3% of them were on his or herself. So think about that for a minute. Over a 30-day period, somebody casts 133 votes. 96.3% of them are just on themselves. So closely, almost 100% of what they were doing was just trying to reward themselves and not caring about anyone else. That's an interesting situation. That's something that, again, it's completely permissible, but what exactly are they adding to the community? What exactly are they trying to do? They're almost only in it for themselves. And the interesting thing is I went and just ran something. I thought, have they changed their ways? I mean, they got called out almost 2 weeks ago saying, hey, all you ever do is vote for yourself. And that's one thing, too, to remember. Everything you do on the blockchain can be tracked, it can be documented. Everything you've ever typed, everything you've ever written. You may be careful, want to be careful about the things you share, the things you do. It's not always wise just to put all your own information out there. It's not always wise to say something you may regret later, because even if you go back and edit it while you still can, there's a record of it. Everything that you upvote, everything you downvote, all that stuff can be tracked, it can be documented, we can compile the data, we can look at it, and there's a lot of different sites like this one is steamreports.com that can be tools that people use to track this stuff. So I thought, you know what? This guy got called out. And I said, I wonder if he's changed his ways. It's been called out almost 2 weeks ago. So I took a peek, and now it says in the past 31 days, same user, 131 votes, 96.9% of them are self-votes. So what's that mean? Oops, there. So 96.3, now 96.9. Actually, they got worse. They got more selfish after being called out. So here's an interesting thing too. I thought, okay, maybe we just got an issue here. Maybe they haven't been active lately. Maybe I'm just kind of reading some old data. So I turned it to the past 2 days. We're gonna let that load. Okay, in the past 2 days, they've cast 5 votes. And that's total. So there's been 5 votees that they've voted on. 99.1% in the past 2 days. So again, like I said, permissible? Yeah. Is this person throwing around a lot of weight? I don't think they are. I don't think they are throwing around a lot of weight. I think they're just somebody trying to get started, and somebody just trying to do something. Is it wise to do things that way? I would say no, but again, and yeah, if I pull into their wallet, well, that's the Steam power they got actually. Almost 2,000 Steam power. Total account value almost 7,500. But when I found out, because I don't always play around and I don't always crunch numbers, sometimes just making content, curating, interacting with others, catching up on Discord and Steemit chat messages, it can take a while. So I thought, you know what? I wonder how Papa Pepper's actually doing. I mean, seriously, because I'll tell you what, I used to vote up every single one of my posts at 100% for a very long time. I would put out 4 posts a day, 7 days a week, upvote them all at 100%. As a minnow starting out, as I became a young dolphin, it happened that way for a long time. Why? I support what I do. I believe in me. I do. At the time, we had 40 full power upvotes on a daily basis. So even that, if I made 4 posts, gave myself 100% power upvote on all those, that was only 10% of my votes, though. The other, 30 full power upvotes I could do in a day would be distributed somewhere else. Now, some time ago, I said, you know what? They cut back to 10 full power upvotes in a day. I'm like, I can't do that. If I upvote 4 of my own and maybe post from the Little Peppers account and upvote that, then half of what I have to offer the community in voting power is sucked up by myself. I said, I can't do that. So I stopped self-voting some time ago, and actually, this is interesting because a lot of people hit me up in Discord sometimes, hit me up on Steemit chat, spam me, if you want to call it that, in my messages, and oh, please help me, please support me and stuff. And guys, I can't be everywhere. I just can't, but I do try. And I do try to help, and I do care, but I just simply can't do it all myself. So I try, I work hard, that type of stuff, and here is my last 31 days. So if you go to my last 31 days, this is Papa Pepper on steamreports.com. 31 days, here we go. I had 482 votees, okay? So that's how many different people I voted on. That's crazy. 0.7% was self-votes, and what that is that's usually voting on comments. I don't think I've upvoted any of my posts. Sometimes if I'm splitting a payout with somebody on a post, if I'm working in a collaboration with somebody, I'll upvote the post because then it gives them more as well. And sometimes if I'm commenting, like if I do a Wild Man's Wild Friends video, I've got a previous bunch of things in that series. So I'll make my new post, and then rather than linking all the old videos in the actual post and making the post that much longer, I'll reply with it as a separate comment, but I'll upvote it usually to move it to the top. And that way anyone who enjoyed that content can see that my content would usually be, my reply would be the first comment there, and then have an opportunity to see all that stuff too. So that's where the probably 0.7% out of 100% of self-votes is most likely coming from there. And the neat thing too is you can come here and see. So Dave KS was my highest one I was supporting, but he's only got 4% of all my votes cast. And then you head to the Little Peppers, Freedom Point, Who else? Bluer Than Green, Monothark, Verbal D, Paradise Found, Borrowed Earth, Armadillo Creek, Janice Hung, Gold Matters, Beatitudes 8, Freedom to Write. So you can head all the way around True Conspiracy and check out all these people, all the way down to people like P-Bach and Rigoroni B and Ryan Williams 88 and stuff down there. And then here, this section says 432 others. So I want you to think about that too, that in the course of a month here, 31 days, there's actually been 482 people I voted on. Now you minus myself out of there, minus the Little Peppers account out of there. That's 480 different Steemians posts or comments that I've voted on in the past month. Like this is my first time kind of seeing this information. This is my, was today, but I thought, hey, while I'm talking about self-voting, because I wanted to talk about that a bit, I wanted to pull up some of this information and just show you guys this. And I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing to be able to even self-evaluate on that. I'm like, you know what? If I'm hitting almost 500 people, different accounts a month with some of my support, some of my votes, I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm not going to pull up a bunch of other people and kind of do a comparison. I'm not here to elevate myself or lower myself or, compare people to people. But I will say that if I had 95% of those upvotes just being my own stuff, that wouldn't sit right with me. And actually here, if you go to Steam Stats made by Jesta, you can see here Papa Pepper right now, the actual voting power is 28%. The Little Peppers account's down to 36. So even with my voting power, that's because you're only allowed 10 full power upvotes a day. I upvote more than 1,000% a day, which would be 10 times 100%. So anyway, this is getting a little longer than I wanted it to be. What I do want to say is that, look, if you're only voting for yourself, that's probably going to be a problem. If you are a part of this community, I would recommend supporting the community. I'd recommend being involved. I'd recommend caring about others. I'd recommend encouraging, supporting, doing whatever you can. And okay, I decided just to pull up another account because there's been a lot of stuff about it lately. So here you can see the account name. Yeah, there we go. And here you can see the amount of self-voting in that time. Okay, so you guys can use this tool. You can research, look up whoever. You can think what you want. You can look into different people. Even that, like, let's say, hey, hypothetically, I have my 28% voting power, and I'm upvoting myself 100%. You know what that's going to give me? Like $1.50 maybe. So there's other people where you could drop that one button and it shoots up $100 or something right now. So, all right, guys. Main point of the story is if you're a minnow, feel free to upvote your own stuff. Feel free. If you like somebody's post and you're going to comment on it and you're going to upvote your comment, make sure to vote on the post you're commenting on too, because there's people who do that. They don't upvote the post and they just upvote their own comments. Not very cool. And then also, remember, you're part of a community. Especially, I'd recommend supporting those who support you, because if you guys are supporting each other as you grow together, you can have more and more and more support. A lot of my people I wish I supported more are people who started way back when I did. It seems like a lot of the people from the early days kind of grew up on their own, and now there's all these minnows coming up underneath them, and we're kind of trying to support those beneath us and not supporting each other as much, which is fine. But there's certainly some who, relationships are different, people are different, Steemians are different. So you're part of a community, people. Spread the love, share the votes, do what you can, and it is what you make it. I say that all the time. Steemit can be the absolutely worst, most horrible place in the world for you, if you want it to be. It can also be the best place online for you, if you want it to be. It is what you make it. So, all right, guys. Pop out. Hope I didn't bore you.